Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Making 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 5 of What If Naruto Was Abandoned and Awaken at Kekkei Genkai. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, stay in tune for the rest of what is coming your way over Anime King and over Anime King 3. If you're new, yes, you heard that correctly. I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support, and yeah, without further ado, we need to begin this new episode. Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, after teaching Naruto the Shadow Clone Jutsu, the Kyuubi told Naruto her real name, which was Natsume, as Naruto was happy to hear that. They continued their training until it was time, as Zabuza gave Naruto a punch in the face before he left, saying that he was talking with all those sappy crap, saying that he was grateful and all that. Zabuza just told him not to get killed out there, as he wanted to see him in the future and perhaps challenge him once again, something that Naruto agreed to. So with that, they move on, as they made their way. They made their way towards the Land of Lightning, where they came upon a scene as they saw a man being forcefully buried into the ground, even though he was alive. As Naruto went to stop it, was none other than Raikage, as he stopped all of Raikage's men and freed the man that was being buried into the ground. Raikage said that he was gonna kill Naruto, but he saw something in the brat. And when Naruto asked him to show him his swordsmanship before they have a proper battle, Raikage agreed, as Raikage was gonna train him until he was worthy enough for him to use his blade against him, because at the moment Raikage didn't think that he was worthy enough for him to use his actual blade against him. So with that, months passed. Naruto was growing and he was starting to get affected by, well, the Kyuubi in his head, given the fact that usually she was in these strange poses, and not to mention when she bathed in the river in his mindscape, things were getting bad for him, really bad. But she was afraid to talk to him as she has been speaking a lot lately. He thought that it was because of the way he was acting, but it wasn't that. She told him that because of having her inside of him and everything, he was gonna have to go through a process of rebirth. As Naruto was surprised to hear that, she thought that he was gonna hate her for that. After all, he's been through so much already, and now this. But Naruto wasn't, well, he didn't really care. It will help him get stronger, not to mention, it's all because of her that this is happening. She was so delighted that he was not going to be angry at her about this. Naruto also read the scroll that his father left behind for him. His father said so many good things about his mother and the Uzumaki clan. But all of that, if his father ever knew, all of that was, well, a lie. Seeing that his mother abandoned him, and the techniques that his father left behind, and the bloodline, which made him move incredibly fast. Not to mention the bloodline that he was going to get after rebirth. As Naruto underwent the process, it was painful and difficult. Not to mention age no longer mattered to him now, given the fact that he was basically immortal when it comes to age, but he could still die by other means. When Naruto emerged, he was a complete different person, as he looked like he was in his late 20s. They were going to use a transformation to hide his features, but he looked different completely, as the Kyuubi couldn't help but blush when she saw him, as he was handsome, incredibly so, not to mention his features changed, and the pointy ears, and not to mention the tail. The day finally came when him and Raikage was gonna have their battle, as Naruto was grateful for the man despite the man being a psychopath. After all, he helped him a lot, but Raikage still wanted to fight him. One of them were gonna go down in the ground no matter what, as Naruto obliged. So yeah guys, that was basically what I thought. You guys can switch across the place, check it out for yourself. So this begins new episode. Only after a minute and the ground looked like a war zone. The upturn of rocks, as the place was being decimated. As the two blurs clashed violently, their blades sending sparks everywhere. Naruto was faster than Raiga, but Raiga had dual swords, as he was able to keep up with the difference of the speed. As Natsume was watching Naruto's first official shinobi fight, this won't be decided by Kinjutsu alone. They're two evenly matched. The both of them got caught in a power struggle as their sword clashed against one another for dominance. But Raiga twisted his right sword, knocking Naruto's blade and threw it away, as Naruto flipped several times, dodging Raiga's slice that would have ended his life right there and then. As he flipped through hand signs he did, wind style, great wind breakthrough he shouted. Raiga was blown back yet to stab both swords into the ground to stabilize himself. As Naruto flashed through another set of hand signs, earth style, earth flow river he said. The ground around Raiga became mud, mixed with his unstable wind as his sword started to sink into the earth. As Raiga noticed that the mud in front of him was bubbling. Earth style, earth dragon missile said Naruto. As the mud came shooting out at high velocity, Raiga was able to pull its blades out, showing that he wasn't a part of the 7 Ninja Swordsman ex-member for nothing, as the mud clashed right into his blades, throwing him terribly back as he crashed on the ground. He didn't waste any time though as he got to his feet, as he decided to dab in the ninjutsu as well. Lightning release, lightning shield he said, as he blocked the several more mud missiles that came towards him as a dragon head came out of the mud, firing missiles towards him in a large quantity. Once they were over, he swung his blades, releasing the pent-up electricity. Lightning release, lightning wave technique, as Naruto jumped and the ground exploded. As Raiga, twisting mid-air already up there with Naruto, Naruto's eyes went wide as Raiga had a ball of lightning on tip of his blades. Lightning release, lightning ball he says he dropped in towards Naruto, who was in mid-air. He could not dodge, as it slammed right into Naruto. Raiga's eyes went wide and Naruto poofed away. Raiga landed gently. I should have figured, with all the time that you use it to train, he said. Enough talking, said Naruto, as Raiga watches 9 Naruto pop into existence around him, as they start to flash through hand sign. As Raiga sent another lightning wave towards one of them, before it struck though the clones finished their hand sign. Water release, water colliding destruction. Raiga releases lightning ball, as it slammed into the ground, as Naruto moved the real one. As the clones released the water style, Raiga watched as a column of water appeared out of nowhere. What the hell, he said. There's no water source nearby. As the thing impacted with so much force, it actually blew Raiga away, despite not directly touching him, as he flipped and landed. I'm impressed, Arashi, he said. Well, it seemed the past year was not a waste of time, as Raiga started to spin his blades fast, as lightning coursed through them as he placed them to the heavens. Lightning release, lightning strike armor, he said, as his body got encased in a never-ending lightning bolt that ran all over him. Naruto actually smirked at that. Well, he's a bit tougher than I thought he would be. Well, he isn't one of the X-7 Ninja Swordsmen for nothing, said Naruto. Raiga slammed both hands together. Lightning release, lightning dragon tornado, he said. The lightning came from his shoulder and formed a giant dragon that roared down at Naruto as it protected Raiga completely. As Naruto looked up, now that was impressive. He created half a dozen clones and sent them towards Raiga, but the dragon popped them out of existence, and it came roaring down towards Naruto to give him that beautiful funeral that Raiga wanted to give him. As the dragon came, Naruto jumped back and his thing smashed into the ground. But that was not the only thing it did. Shrapnels and debris shot forward, encasing lightning that slammed into Naruto, throwing him back as he was caught off guard, as he flipped and landed on his feet. As the dragon pulled back, just forming out of Raiga's body. More specifically, the lightning around him, as the dragon swirled over him to give him a perfect defense. As Naruto summoned an army of clones around Raiga, Raiga snarled as he wondered what the brat was doing, as all of them pulled out 3 shurikens. Does he really think those would hit him? Raiga brought his dragon around him like a protective barrier. Ninja art, shuriken shadow clone technique. As they threw the shurikens, they multiplied mid-air. 900 projectiles rushed towards Reiga as Reiga's dragon came and blasted away the shurikens until one of them poof as Naruto appeared. Sorry to disappoint you, Reiga-san, but I have too many things to do and I can't really die here, said Naruto as he had his blade that was humming with energy. The closer Naruto got, the more his clothes got burned as the electricity around the dragon was scorching. But Reiga had to use the dragon to protect him from the other 900 shurikens that were coming his way, and if he stopped using them, he would be skewered. So, he had to focus on Naruto at the same time as well. Things were bad, really bad. Bring it, Arashi, said Reiga, as Naruto did bring it. Fox Cry sword style, dance of the fox claw, said Naruto. Time seemed to have slowed down for the fighters as Naruto appeared behind Reiga. As the clones poofed away, the dragon vanished as Reiga stood there, standing tall, as Naruto's behind him as Naruto sheathed his blade. Not bad, Arashi, said Reiga, as blood exploded from his body. With that attack, Naruto delivered 150 slices to Reiga, and Reiga's body was torn up badly. You weren't that bad yourself, Reiga-san, said Naruto, as he bowed his head in a moment of silence, as Reiga dropped dead. But at least he had fun. As Naruto then leaned on his blade, as electricity was spasming on his body. Although his attack had struck, with each strike that he made on Reiga, the electricity had struck him a bit. This was the first person that he ever killed. Yes. He knew from Natsuma's teaching that killing was a part of being a shinobi, as that was it, the final loss of innocence in his life. As he looked up to the heavens, as rain started to pour down on him. After a moment, he felt two arms wrapped around him, as a soft body pressed up against him. You did well for your first real fight, Naruto-kun, she said, hoping to ease his pain slightly. Thank you, Natsumai-chan, said Naruto, as he leaned into her embrace. She smirked. You know your idea was stupid, right? I could think of 5 other ways that you could have taken him down without throwing yourself into that much electricity. You're just damn lucky for your healing and your pain tolerance as a Hinyu. Next time, use your brain. You would save yourself a lot of pain and me a lot of worry, she said. I'll think more clearly next time, said Naruto, as he looked down towards Reiga. He was gonna bury the man, as Naruto used her Earth Jutsu, as he placed Reiga's body inside and placed his swords across his chest in an X motion, as he laid the man to rest. Later that night, despite everything Naruto has been through, he has never really killed someone, but he was taking it rather well, and Natsuma was happy to see that his mental fortitude was taking him through it. So, what now, Sensei, he asked as he lay on the bed, looking at the ceiling. There's a rather isolated country I want you to go to. Snow Country. Not many shinobi from the 5 nations go there, so having Hayaton, Ice, Jutsu in your arsenal would be a good ace up your sleeve if you find someone to teach you the basics. Alright, said Naruto. When do we leave? Tomorrow, after breakfast. But you have to be careful to get to the Snow Country. You need to pass through Fire Country. It will also take nearly 3 weeks to get to our destination, seeing that we'll have to take a boat to get there. In the meantime, we will still continue your training, but I'll teach you more about your blade in the meanwhile. But for now, get some rest. You've been through a lot today, she said to him. Yes, Natsumai-chan, he said. Sleep well. You too, Naruto-kun, she responded, as the both of them fell into a deep slumber. Time skip, a month later, since Reiga's duel. It has been a month since they had battled. Naruto continued with his training, as he got more further into mastering his father's jutsu. He also was taught by the Kyuubi about his blade, Shinkokaisen, untapped power, and he was able to release it. Flashback. So you're telling me that the blade has another form? Said Naruto as he looked at the blade in his hand. Yes. As I said, because of his tensions from my fur, your blade has another powerful form. But to be able to control its release form, you must summon Shinkokaisen to this plane. To do so, allow your blood to run down the blade and stab it into the ground, she said. As Naruto looked at the blade before nicking his finger on it, as his blood ran down it as he slammed it into the ground. A circle appeared like a ceiling summon. As Naruto watched, it was made out of his own blood that spread on the ground, as it glowed ominously for a moment. It then poof, as the smoke cleared away, as Naruto saw him. Naruto was looking at himself standing there, but everything that Naruto was wearing and his appearance were opposite on this clone. "What is this, and why does it look like me?" said Naruto. "I am Shinko Kaisen," the doppelganger said, even his tone was different. As Naruto looked towards Natsume, "What do I have to do? It's simple. You have to defeat me to control my power," his opposite half said, as he pointed the blade towards Naruto. "There you have it, Naruto," said Natsume as she moved out of the way. As Naruto stepped forward and picked up the blade that was in the ground, his doppelganger seemed to have formed its own blade. Although this was his doppelganger, so he didn't really understand. But the doppelganger didn't waste any time as he shot forward without a warning as he brought the blade down. This battle was supposed to be Kinjutsu only. If Naruto had used ninjutsu, he would have won rather quickly, but in Kinjutsu the both of them were equally matched, as the duel lasted for about an hour, with none of them gaining the upper edge. As Naruto started to attack more vigorously, but his doppelganger seemed to attack more vigorously as well. "Not bad, but you won't win like that," the darker half said. "Damn it, I can't hit him," said Naruto. "This guy, why did he take my form? He could have taken anyone else, so why?" Naruto wondered to himself. As Naruto jumped back, a smirk came on his face. "Let's end this. In one blow," he said. "I need to get back to my real training." As the doppelganger raised the eyebrow. "Is that so?" As Naruto sheathed his blade and lowered himself into his stance. "Seems he finally figured it out," said Natsume. "Well then, let us." As the doppelganger lowered himself into the same stance, with his blade sheathed as he held on to the hilt. The both of them then vanished in a blur, as sparks erupted everywhere. Before Natsume looked over to the mountain as she saw something impacted in it. She made her way to see who was the winner, as she saw Naruto standing triumphantly, as his sword was at his doppelganger's throat. "I win," said Naruto, as the doppelganger looked at him. "That you did. From now on, I will only serve you, Naruto-sama." As the doppelganger burst into flames, before rushing into Naruto's blade, as Naruto held onto the flaming blade in his hand before it died down. It felt different. "Congratulations, Naruto-kun," said Natsume as she came over. "I must admit I was rather impressed with your ingenuity on how you defeated him." "Thanks," said Naruto. "After a while I started to wonder, why did he took my form instead of anyone else? I then realized that it was a test, to see if I can defeat my greatest enemy, which was myself. If I had kept fighting how I was, I would have lost because he knew all my moves and knew how to counter them. So I went to the move I just thought of on the spot. I used the scabbard of my blade to block his attack, and used the hilt instead of the blade to attack him. It was a rather dangerous move, but it worked." "Very good, Naruto. But now, let us continue." As Naruto nodded, in the flashback. After that, Naruto had helped a Konoha shinobi, who was none other than Hana while he was passing through the land of fire to get towards the snow as he arrived at the port. The boat trip took almost a week due to unseen weather, but they were able to make it safely, as both Natsume and Naruto made their way. "Doesn't look like much," said Naruto as they arrived. The village was quite small. Only a few dozen houses were erected, it seemed. The place was completely engulfed in snow. Well, the name of the country suited quite well. But they had all the essential lodging for tourists. The warmer clothes, everything. People even seemed nice as they gave them a gentle smile and nods as they passed by. "It's an isolated country, Naruto-kun. Of course it's not going to be as lively as Konoha or the San." "Yes, your lady friend is right. We might not be much, but we do what we can." As the both of them turned towards the voice, an old woman carrying some logs in her arm as she looked at the pair with a warm smile. She had light blue hair with streaks of grey running down to her neck. She had green eyes. She wore a simple parka with sweatpants and gloves and hat. "Sorry, but I couldn't help but overhear her comments. If it's lodging you two are looking for, I can supply some for you too," she said. "Thanks, but we don't exactly have money to pay for it," said Naruto, as he scratched the back of his head. "Well, that's fine then. I'm sure you two can help an old woman with some chores around the house for rent," she said. "Thanks," said Naruto as he helped her with the logs. "I'm Kaname," she said. "I'm Naruto, and this is Natsume," said Naruto. "Nice to meet you, Naruto-san and Natsume-san." "Nice to meet you as well, Kaname-san," said Naruto, as Natsume nodded. As the three of them remained silent as they made their way towards the outskirts of the small village. It was a lot bigger than they expected, but once seeing it, they realized why she granted them vacancies. The house was 3 stories. It was made of old but sturdy wood. The place was cozy and warm inside. You can just put the wood near the fireplace, she said. As Naruto came back over, now, I know it's not my business, but are you two lovers, she said, in a rather innocent tone. I only asked to determine which room that you might need, as she saw the both of them blush. No, we aren't lovers, said Naruto. She's my shinobi sensei and my good friend, said Naruto, as Natsume nodded as well. As the old woman chuckled to herself lightly. It's so fun to mix with the young. I can tell these two have strong feelings for each other. Well, since they are not ready to admit it yet, she thought. I see. Well, I do have a double bedroom if you want that. Or would you like 2 separate bedrooms? The double bedroom is fine. It will be easier to wake him up if I'm in the room. To wake him for training, said Natsume. Alright then, it's up the stairs. 2 doors to the left. As the both of them nodded and made away. Once they put their stuff away, they helped the old woman cook dinner. As the woman started a friendly conversation as they ate. So, tell me about you two. How did you meet? Or, why are you training for, Naruto-san? Well, I've known her since I was 6 years old. She helped me through a tough part in my life. We're inseparable, if you might say. As for training, I just want to get stronger to protect the people that are close to me, like Natsume-chan, he said. Well, that is a good path of a shinobi, the old woman said. If I may inquire, is that why you're here, to train, or learn Hayaton Jutsu? Yes, Natsume-sensei thought it would be good for me to learn some Hayaton Jutsu, since not many shinobis come here. Speaking of which, do you happen to know anyone that might teach me? Or, where I could find someone that could? The old woman took on a thoughtful expression. Before she nodded, the Snow Daimyo, Doton Kazahana, would be able to help you out. His entire bodyguard staff and special division are snow shinobis. Your problem would be convincing him to let someone teach you however. You see, he's not really trusting of outsiders. We're currently in a civil war with freedom fighters who believe that the true heir of the throne is still out there alive in the world. But there has not been any proof of that, and Doton was next in line. His brother got assassinated some years ago, and he took control. However, if you wish to test your luck, he can be found in the castle, a few miles away, on top of the mountain in this village. As Naruto bowing thanks, thank you for the information. I will try and convince him tomorrow. After they finish, the old man retired to bed. As both Naruto and Natsume got some training in, it only lasted for about 2 hours as they came back in. Do you think you will give me a sensei, Natsume-chan? Said Naruto, as he flopped himself on his bed. I don't know, Naruto-kun. Things seem rather off in Snow Country. Natsume said in a rather accusing tone. Something just isn't sitting right with me. It's what the old man told us about Doton and that ear out there. Well, I suppose things will be like that, with a civil war going on. Well then, we'll just have to wait and see tomorrow then. As Naruto nodded as he yawned. The next day, they woke up as they helped the old woman cook some breakfast. Before she head out and they head out as well. It did not take them long to climb up the mountain. As it reached giant gates, it was a palace on top of the mountain as they asked to see Doton. But the guards refused. As Naruto explained that he just wanted to talk to the man. But they still refused. And they were told to leave before things got dangerous. Naruto could easily take them, but that wouldn't get him anywhere. So what do I do now, said Naruto. Well, he's probably a busy man who doesn't have time to see everyone. So the best way for you to get a sensei is for you to show off a bit of your skills, said Natsume. That's clever, said Naruto, but it could get dangerous if it's backfire. Well, not that much, she said. I will stay in for this one. Think of it as a test. You'll be the one to come up with the test and show them your skills. Oh, and no use in transformation jutsus other than to hide your appearance. As she poofed back into the seal, as she watched Naruto come up with a plan to meet Doton. If daimyos are anything alike, he would probably be in the back of the castle. But I don't know how much guards he has. Or if it's magnified now because of the civil war, and Naruto thought to himself. Well, I guess stealth is the only way, he thought. Alright, as he made his way, easily getting in and climbing the wall was rather easy for him, as Naruto had the proper chakra control to do so without anyone sensing him. But now came the hard part. He had no idea where he was as he looked around. But he could do something about it as he bit his finger, and he went to hand sign, summoning jutsu as he placed his hand down on the ground, as two black fox poof into reality, with 3 tails swinging behind them. You call this, Naruto-sama, the fox on the right said. Despite Naruto hearing perfect English, the fox was not talking so, as no one else could understand them. Yes, I need you two to check out what is both. Don't these always. Stealth is a key. When you do, come back and tell me, said Naruto. The both of them nodded before running down quarters, as after a few minutes they came back. The right path led to an armory, with a lot of guards down there. It was a dead end. As the left went deeper into the castle, he might need their assistance once again, as the three of them made their way down the corridor. They had to repeat 3 times before they got anywhere, as the corridors were long, and there were a lot of them. As Naruto stroked them behind their ears, "Thank you for your help," he said. They nodded as they poof out of existence. As Naruto jumped up the wall and made his way, as he saw about 6 guards making their way, but he silently passed all of them without them noticing. As he came to a stop when he heard voices, as he pressed himself against the wall. Before he went through hand sign, "Water style, sleep mist," he said, as he released a mist that spread along the ground, as it made its way inside the room. Once he thought enough mist was out, he closed his mouth, as he waited. As he heard metal hit metal, as he heard glass shattering, and someone shouting, "What the hell is happening?" As Naruto pulled out a handful of senbon needles, and speed down towards the entrance of the room. As Naruto entered, there was 12 of them in there, that were still up. As they were joining level, they did not succumb to the mist, while the others had fallen unconscious. As Naruto launched his senbons, as he was able to take down 9 out of the 12, leaving 3 of them remaining. 1 female and 2 male. As the 2 males launched attacks towards Naruto. As the female rushed towards the alarm on the wall. "Damn it," said Naruto as he threw a senbon. One of the male jumped forward and knocked it out of the way. But he didn't see the other one that Naruto threw right after that one that passed him and hit the woman in the neck, knocking her out. "You'll pay for that!" As the man turned, Naruto was no longer there. He received a hard hit in his chest that slammed him into the wall. He was out cold. The last Jonin started to flash to hand sign rather quickly. "Damn it, I can't have him alerting the rest of the castle." As Naruto sent Chakra down towards his feet. Water style, BAM! Naruto cut the man off by slamming the hilt of his blade into the man's stomach, as he was knocked out cold as he keeled over and fell down. As Naruto quickly climbed the rest of the stairs going up. As most of the troops were in here, this was a mess hall and they were eating. The rest of the others were passed out, so he had time as he made his way. As Naruto then arrived at 2 giant doors. "This must be the place. Natsuma-chan, I'm about to meet Doton," said Naruto. "You can come out, so we can collaborate our story and my reason for training." Yes, Naruto-kun," she said. As she exited, they pushed the double door open, and Naruto was correct. The room was huge, although there wasn't much to it. A long red carpet that led up to the throne, some columns over to the side, and not to mention, there were some stairs that lead up to the top of the throne, with Doton sitting right on it. Doton snapped his finger as 3 snow shinobis appear right in front of him. "And what do I owe for this unexpected company?" Doton asked. He looked towards the 2 of them. Just looking at the man, Natsuma and Naruto could tell that this man wasn't a good man. But they hold off on full judgment until everything. As his shinobis narrowed their eyes towards him, as both Naruto and Natsuma stepped forward. There was one of them that was the tallest of the 3. He had dark purple hair and dark eyes, and they had on some strange armor. And there was a girl there as well, the smallest of the group. And over to the other side there was a hulking man. He was rather large, as each of them were wearing that strange armor that Naruto did not recognize. "I had hoped to have an audience with you, Doton-sama," said Naruto, trying to refer to the man respectfully as he could. "Oh? And who are you? And what prompted you to sneak in my home as you did? I do make appointments, you know." "I am Kazuma Arashi, and this is Natsuma. I had asked the gate guards if I could meet you, but they said no. I didn't feel like waiting, and my sensei here thought it would be a good idea to give you a demonstration of my skills, to show you exactly why I'm here." "So this is your sensei, is it?" said Doton as he looked over Natsuma in a rather leisure way, as Naruto had clenched into a fist at his side. "And a demonstration of what? Why exactly are you here?" "I wish to ask for your permission of allowing one of your snow ninjas to teach me Hayaton jutsus." Doton raised an eyebrow. "Well, I see where that demonstration comes in handy then. To be able to enter my fortress undetected and reach my throne room without even a single scratch on you. But before I say anything else, do you know that we're in a civil war right now?" As Naruto nodded, "I've heard." "Well, I can't be any more cautious. Tell me, where did the both of you come from? You're clearly competent shinobis, yet you have no sign of any village on you. Tell me, why is that? And also, why do you wish to learn this kanji jutsu? Why exactly? Lastly, what do you plan to give back as payment for the lessons that you will be taught? We hail from Konoha in the Fire Country. You are correct. We are shinobis, but we wear no insignia because we aren't recognized as shinobis by any government body. We left Konoha as civilians because I wish to learn jutsu from other country without being labeled as a missing name in the progress, nor cause any backlash from me learning from any other countries. My wish to learn them are my own, I'm afraid. However, my word as a shinobi, anything I learn here would not be shared out of the country without excess permission. As for payment, start to say, but we're wandering shinobis, so we don't really have anything of value to give. I see, said Doton as the man smirked. Given that you aren't shinobis from any villages, I don't see why I can't spare anyone to teach you. And also, as for your payment, as he turned towards Natsume and smirked, you said that she's only your sensei, and since she's traveling with you, I can assume that she has no insignificant other in Konoha, so I humbly ask in return for the lessons that you receive, the pleasure of her company tonight for dinner, said Doton. As Naruto looked at the man, his head cocked to the side, something started to drip to the ground. As Naruto was gripping his palm so tight he was actually digging into his own flesh. Who the hell does this asshole think that he is? To ask her, with the intention so clear as singing off his tongue, as Naruto could feel it, and to ask my Natsume-chan, no less. If I didn't need to ask him for his help, I would rip his balls off, said Naruto, as he was clearly angry. It just felt wrong, with its man asking Natsume out right in front of him. It angered him, but at least he could have solace in her saying no. Of course she would turn down this guy. Alright. Naruto froze as he slowly turned his head. What? He screamed in his mind. But she did not face him, she kept on looking at Doton. Excellent, excellent. Fubuki, please, take Arashi here and teach him some simple Haitan Jutsu, Doton said, as the pink-haired girl nodded. Natsume-chan, please follow Midori to my guest room so you can get into something more comfortable. I will have my cooks begin dinner immediately. As Fubuki looked over Naruto. Come Naruto-kun, she said. She grabbed his arm. The training ground now outside the castle walls. But Naruto was stunned silence. He did not speak as the woman dragged him away, as he kept on looking at Natsume, who was brought off with Midori. Soon, the door closed as the day rolled off. As Naruto's mind just could not focus even though he was being taught by this girl. He basically mostly ignored what she said, although he got the gist of it down. But still, he couldn't understand why would she agree. He could have just leave and not learn anything. Why would she agree? Later that night, damn that pervert. I hope Naruto can know how grateful he is for me going on a date with that sleazebag, said Natsume. After all, she did this for him, so that he could learn from that woman. As she made her way back to the room, the man tried to make so much advances on her, but she knocked them down one by one. If he thought he was getting anywhere with her, he was dreaming. As she entered the room where they were staying, as Naruto had his back turned to her. Welcome back. I guess you had a good time since you're just getting back now, he says. He was cleaning his blade. After all she did, he wouldn't even say thank you. Well, she would decide to tease him a bit. Well, he's not so bad when you get to know him. I decided I would probably go through them again, as she hoped for some kind of funny reaction that would cheer her up after the hellish day that she had. Just sitting across from that scumbag and talking to him, actually acting like she was interested so her Naruto-kun could get training. I see, said Naruto, as his blade poofed away. I'm gonna go to sleep. Good night. Oh, okay. Good night, Naruto-kun, she said, looking at him quite perplexed. Maybe it was a bad idea for me to tease him, she thought. She returned back to the seal, waiting for Naruto to come for his mental training. But when 2 hours passed and did not come, she knew that something was wrong and she started to get worried. But Naruto had not went to sleep at all. He was awake, as his mind was rushing through a lot of thoughts. Why did she have to say yes? Screw the Haitan techniques. He could just leave. I don't understand. That guy is a clear scumbag who just wanted her for her body. Does she like guys like that, who is more forward and outgoing? Damn it, he thought to himself. As he looked down, some part of him thought that him becoming half demon would make them closer. I thought just because I was a mere human, I wouldn't have a chance with her. But things doesn't seem to have changed. Because she went out with a human. And nonetheless, that man. Damn it, I was an idiot to think that anything would change between us. Know that both of us are demons. Damn it to hell, he screamed. I'm our jailer. For comedy's sake, he laughed at himself. To thinking how pathetic he was. All this training must have fried my brain. What the hell was I thinking? I'm not even fully human or fully demon. I'm half and half. She's a powerful being. And I think I had a chance. A freak that not even his own mother wanted. Huh. I'm really pathetic, he thought to himself. Well, if that is what she wants, guess I have no right to stop her, he thought to himself. She is already in this seal, unfairly. It would be rather selfish of me to hold her back, if she wants to go and find love with someone else. But still, why does it have to hurt so much, he thought to himself. On the other hand, Natsuma was worried. As Naruto didn't seem to be up for today to come to Mindscape perhaps. He went through too much today. The next morning, as Natsuma was in the bed when she woke up, not in the seal, as she wiped her eyes. Naruto? As she saw a piece of paper on the pillow, addressed to her, as she was fully dressed in her usual kimono, as she walked over and read the note. Sensei, thought you would appreciate the bed, so I made the clone. I went out training, Naruto. She frowned. He could have waked her up, as her ears twitched when she heard grunts and cries of someone fighting thanks to her advanced hearing. When she arrived toward the scene, the place was torn to pieces, as Naruto was standing there panting heavily as he had the blade in his hand. As she looked turned her whistle. Oh hey there, Naruto-kun, she said. Oh, by the way, remind me to never get on your bad side when you have your sword out, she joked with a laugh. Thanks. I just thought I could use some training with him in his release form, said Naruto. Always a workaholic, aren't you? You know that you won't find a mate with that kind of attitude, right? She's teased, unknown what her words are doing to him. Your form has gotten better, even with him release. I'm impressed, she said. Oh, and thanks for your thoughtfulness about the bed. As the more nicer she was being to him, the more he felt like he just wanted to hold her and kiss her. It wasn't a problem, just thought I'll make you more comfortable. And sorry about not coming to training last night. Fubuki, it's a rather harsh, sensei, and I need to sort some things out. She saw that he didn't look that okay. There was just this look on his face that confused her. He didn't look angry or sad, he just looked strangely distant. Is everything okay, she asked. Yeah. I just figured a solution to a problem I was having. It is nothing for you to worry about. As he smiled at her, the smile shocked her to her core because that smile that he used was the same one that he used in the village, that fake smile. But why? Why would he use it on her? Oh, alright, she said. Well, you know the drill by now. I'll be here to watch. As she moved towards a tree and sat down, a frown on her face. She disliked him going to train that other woman. But she was doing this to make sure that it helped him. As she watched as he practiced more with his father Hiroshin Jutsu. Time skip. 6 months later. Half a year had passed since that day, and on the surface things was fine between them, as usual. As Naruto got a better understanding of his father's technique, he was able to use it a few times, but he was nowhere close to mastering it. Even his Hayaton training with Fubuki was going well. He was already up to learning Chunin level jutsu from her, which surprised her a lot. In her opinion, Hayaton was rather hard to learn, yet he learned it. Well, it kind of infuriated her, but it was her pride. Not to mention they hung out with the old woman, and they did a lot of things in the town, causing them to become well known and liked by the people. Unfortunate for the pair, they found out that the old woman had this rather nasty disease, and it would eventually kill her. That is why she had those violent coughs most times, as she told him that she has lived her life already, and she just wanted to go out naturally. But the old woman noticed something was going on between Naruto and Natsumai, mainly on Naruto's side. Natsumai seemed to notice too, but she never talked her concerns. Either she was afraid to ask her what, the old woman did not know. But it was Natsumai's usual sexual innuendos that she advanced towards Naruto, which he always played along with. But now, things were different. But Natsumai never stopped with the teasing, but Naruto no longer took a part of it. The woman didn't know what happened, but she didn't want to see the both of them act like this. Neither of them knew how strongly either of them felt for each other, and they need to find out. A yearly festival happened at the end of the week, and the old woman was cleaning up the house, as Naruto and Natsumai was helping. As he went on to do different chores, as she saw him outside cutting firewood, as Natsuma had left out after a while to the village. Natsuma would not say anything to Naruto, so she decided that it was her job. She was an old woman. If she could help these two find the love that they need. Before she passed on, that was the best thing she would hope for. Naruto-kun, would you mind coming in here for a minute? There's something I wish to ask you. As Naruto came in after a minute and saw a cup of tea on the table as he sat down. He took a sip. Good tea as always, he said. So, what do you want to ask me? I'm sure that you don't want to talk about it, but I'm rather worried about Natsume and yourself. Why exactly have you been distant to her? Especially at times when she tried to play with you, which you usually play back. And I know for certain that you have some deep feelings for her. I have seen the time when you just stare at her with that blissful smile on your face, unbothered by anything else in the world. As she noticed Naruto's slightly pink cheeks. None of them noticed that Natsume just came back from the market, and Natsume, before she entered, she heard, "What?" The old woman asked Naruto, so she froze. As she pressed her back against the wall. "I should always be aware of the elderly," said Naruto. "They can always see past my defenses. I don't really mean to act that way. I don't, it's complicated." "Well, we elderly have a lot more experience than you do, Naruto-kun," she said, with a laugh. Natsume-chan may not be as verbal as me, but she's just as worried about you as I am. And what's so complicated about it? You like her, and I can see she likes you as well. The only thing I can see is complicated about it is that she's the Kyuubi, and you're her Jinchuriki. Naruto ate shut up as he looked towards her. What? He didn't bother to lie. How long have you known? For a few months now. You know, many people like her doesn't really exist in this world. I mean, for a human to have that flawless skin, those eyes, not to mention that hair. For lack of a better word, she's basically perfect. And whether you say it or not, I know that you agree with me about her looks. Now, with that said and done, why have you been acting this way towards her? They don't matter anymore, said Naruto. The woman raised an eyebrow. Well, I feel this way for her. She is who she is, and I'm what I am. And while I want it to be us, there's no way it could happen. So can you please stop mentioning that she has feelings for me? Because every time you say it, I feel like I'm getting stabbed right in the heart. Meanwhile, Natsume was shocked. Naruto-kun likes me? She thought to herself, as she felt happy. But why hasn't he said anything to me? And why does he think it's impossible for me to have those kind of feelings towards him? When I do. She heard Naruto scream out the old woman's name, as she rushed inside to see Naruto standing over her, as the woman was coughing badly, as Naruto helped her, as she had blood in her hand when she was just coughing. They didn't want to admit it, but she didn't have much time left in this world. But she has never coughed up blood before. It was getting worse, much worse than before. As Naruto brought her towards the couch, Natsume got a cup of tea and some towels. As they cleaned the blood, they sat close by her as she drank tea. Thank you for the trouble, you two. It's no trouble, said Natsume with a warm smile. Just promise me you're not gonna leave me here with Naruto. He may be my student, but he doesn't listen to me like he does to you, said Natsume, as the old woman laughed. Yes, but I wonder if for you too, would that be such a bad thing? She teased, making the both of them blush, but she started to cough once again, as she started to cough up blood. Damn it, said Naruto. Let us take you to a doctor. She took a sip of her tea, as she shook her head, looking through the window at the snow that was falling. No, I can already feel it. It's only a matter of time, she said. But why, he said. Well, I suppose, with how long I have left, I should tell you both everything. I used to be a shinobi in my younger years. More to the point, I was a Jonin level medic ninja in the hidden zone. Hence, why going to a doctor is pointless, since I am one, a damn good one too. Hence, because of who you both are, you both deserve to know. This is the reason why I'm telling you. The Zone Tag is someone, at least, Natsume, or should I say the Kyuubi, know very well. Orochimaru, she said, as Natsume's face turned to a snarl hearing that name. You knew Orochimaru, she asked. Yes, I was his top medical researcher actually, before he decided I wasn't useful anymore. I'm sorry, I didn't want to keep this from you too, especially after learning who you guys are. But I was afraid that you wouldn't trust me enough to believe me. Or, you probably tried to kill me before I finished my story, she said. It's okay, said Naruto. Please continue your story. As she nodded. Anyway, the next part of my story is rather important for you both. As I mentioned, I was one of his top researchers. My division was given a mission to develop an immortality jutsu for him. After many years and many tests and develops, we came up with something that looked promising, at least to us. The soul inhale. It basically allowed the user to put a soul into a corpse. The catch was it could only be a living soul. Although we came through with this great breakthrough, he disliked the idea of putting his soul into a corpse, saying that he wouldn't look youthful then. And for failures, he gave us one more week to complete something which we could not. And he started to slaughter us. I was the only one that escaped and came here to the hidden snow. From what I heard, the bastard used the findings of my jutsu to implement the methods to another jutsu called the Edo Tensei. Something that was not perfected, but he was able to use the findings of what we did to make sure he got what he wanted. He was able to pull the souls of the dead back into the living world, using a living host as a sacrifice instead. Too barbaric for me, as both Naruto and Natsume gave each other a look, as they promised when they find the snake, he would die slowly and painfully at their hands. Calm down, you two. I'm sure you will find him and get your revenge on that man. But other than that, there's something else. I want to give you something before I pass on, a jutsu. The one that I created. As Naruto raised eyebrow, but what could we possibly use that jutsu for? Well, it's quite simple. At the moment, you have your shadow clone transform and pull Natsume's soul in it, correct? As once again they were shocked that she knew so much, she simply smirked. Oh come on now, did you honestly think I wouldn't hear the poofing or a shadow clone being neutralized in his house? Or the lack of chakra that she has while being the strongest? I wasn't ahead of the research for nothing, you know? But it's quite simple. I want to give Natsume-chan her real and new body. The both of them were shocked. But how? Said Natsume. Well, I already told you what my jutsu does. So all you need to do is learn it and get yourself a corpse. Well, I already have one for you, she said. This is my wish. Grant the old woman a dying wish. Can you, she said. The both of them looked at each other. As she wanted this. She wanted them to have this. So they agreed. She took a few hours to show Naruto what to do, and he was able to get it down. But by the time he was done, she couldn't even move her body anymore. So they made her as comfortable as possible. As she wanted to say a few parting words before she go. Don't change who you are, she said. You are strong, you are compassionate, an honest young man. Well, honest about most things, she said, with a small smile. Stay true to yourself and your reason for becoming the shinobi that you are today. Protect the people important to you, and you will never go wrong on your path. And I assure you, things are not the way that you see it. The both of you will find each other, and you will understand. Promise me you will see it through when it happens. Promise me. I promise, said Naruto. Thank you. One last thing. Take her to the snow festival tomorrow. I know that she has been looking forward towards it, ever since she heard about it, and she will be happy. I can do that, said Naruto. Natsume-chan. As Natsume came over, as she sat in front of the old woman, as Naruto stepped away to allow them their private talk. Sorry for not getting the answers you want from Naruto-kun. He's a stubborn one. What do you mean? Asked Natsume. As the old woman simply smiled. I know that you were there, listening to us. I wanted you to hear what he had to say. Don't worry. It will just take a while for him to get over what is holding him back. Just be a bit patient with him. And please take care of him. He's powerful but not invincible. But with you, being there with him, I know that he will be just fine. As the woman gave her a smile. As she could feel it. She could feel her time was coming. Alright, Naruto-kun, she said. It's time. As Naruto came over, saddened, he knew that she was about to die. But the woman was smiling. She would want nothing more than to see the both of them finally accepting their feelings for each other. And it was going to be wonderful, as she could already see that the both of them were madly in love with each other. But it will just take some time. And if she could do one thing by giving Natsume her real body right here, well, that would be just perfect. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see the next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on the bell notification, stay posted. But I'm all for now. And also guys, remember to stay tuned for the rest of what is coming your way over at Anime King and Anime King 3. If you're new, yes, I have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, and Anime King 3, which I post what I want every single day. But I'm all for now, see you guys soon, peace.